Welcome back
Hey,
on to Read to Me TT Bedtime Series. Hope you are all ready for another fun bedtime story. My name is Auntie Gabby, and I'm like, say, Doc McStuffins. Who knows Doc McStuffins? But instead of taking care of stuffed animals and toys, I take care of sick children like Hannah in tonight's story. And I also take care of healthy kids too.
hey everyone, I'm Uncle Matt, and much like Aunt Gabby, I also take care of sick kids. But I also love to make up games and tell stories to my 17 nieces and nephews and all the people I work with at work. So, we all know these past few months have had us inside, and that's kind of tough. But just remember, we are all being heroes when we stay inside and helping to flatten that curve. Tonight, we will be picking up from last night with this great story called Peanut and the Pen Pal.
Yes, Uncle Matt. This beautiful book was written by a St. Lucian author, Don French. But before we begin, we have a challenge for you. This book is based on a true story about a little girl named Hannah who suffers from sickle cell anemia. Whilst in the hospital in Colorado, Hannah needs a reason to smile.
So, all of us, me, and Gabby, and all of you can help. Read2Me TT has a dedicated post on their page with lots of stuff about Hannah and her email address. So let's ask Mommy and Daddy to help us give her some Caribbean love and just send her love from the world around and help her to feel better. Wouldn't that be amazing? All right, so let's get ready to start the story.
Sebastian came to get her for dinner. Then homework had to be finished. Soon it was bedtime, and she still didn't know what sickle cell anemia was. The next day, Peanut got to school. She was determined to visit the school library. She would sit at a table and use her phone to conduct a search. So, at lunchtime off, she went.
Peanut, where are you going? Mandy called. I'll be back soon, she promised. She typed the words into the search engine, and up popped the information. She started to read the page. It was a lot of words. What does that say? Well, sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood cell disease. What does that mean? Which happens where there aren't enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. It's called sickle cell because the blood cell is shaped like a sickle, kind of like a crescent moon. And because of the shape, they can get stuck in small blood vessels. And this can make the blood go really slow or even block the blood flow and all the oxygen that the blood is taking to the rest of the parts of the body.
Peanut looked up the word anemia and discovered that it is a condition where the red blood cells don't get enough oxygen to carry around, and this can make you feel tired and weak. Something caught Peanut's eye. It was a painful condition. It was called pancreatitis, and it happened because the sickled red blood cells block blood flow through tiny blood vessels. For some people, the crisis could be a few hours, while others, the crisis could be a few weeks. There was a long list of things that sickle cell anemia could cause, and that included blindness.
Mr. Peterson, the librarian, saw when Peanut had entered. Now he saw her frowning. Everything all right, Peanut? Even the teachers called her Peanut. I wanted to learn about sickle cell anemia, but I'm confused, she admitted. Maybe I can help, he offered. Oh, yes, please. It says it's inherited. What does that mean? It's a big word that means that one or both of a person's parents must have it for them to get it. So it's not like a cold where you can catch it from just anyone. It comes either from your mom or your dad, Mr. Peterson explained. Was that everything?
What does sickle cell mean? Mr. Peterson first read what Peanut had discovered. It said, the best way I can explain it is to say that when someone has sickle cell anemia, it means that their blood cells are sick. Blood cells are supposed to be round, but these are not. They are shaped like a new moon. So the pointy angles get stuck in the vein and cannot flow, and therefore the blood cannot deliver to the oxygen where it is needed. Mr. Peterson stopped her. One more thing, Peanut. There is no cure for sickle cell anemia, and it affects people of African descent, Hispanics, South Asians, Caucasians from Southern Europe, and people from Middle Eastern countries. I didn't know that, she said. I noticed that your notes didn't say so. I thought you'd like to know.
Peanut stayed silent for a moment. Thank you, Mr. Peterson, she said. You are quite welcome. That's what the library is for, to help with information, he replied. Peanut sat for a while and thought about Hannah. She was just 8 years old, too. Peanut thought that Hannah was a very brave girl. Peanut took a deep sigh, and then she left to join her friends. Peanut! Where have you been? Christian demanded.
Before she could answer, English spoke. We're going to Lorette's Park after lunch on Saturday. Okay, I'll come with Dax on my back. Dax was her pet dog.
Oh.
The place was called Laureate's Park because of St. Lucia's 4 laureates.
The 4 laureates, Sir Arthur Lewis and Sir Derek Walcott, were Nobel laureates, and Dr. Adrian Aguirre and Mr. Jalim Udovic are Sabaga laureates.
The park was a nice big green space with lots of trees and flowers. There was a pool where children could play and ducks could swim. There were many benches too where folks sat on sunny days. Have you started Pen Pal project yet? Anton asked. Soon they were all discussing their friends. Then the school bell rang, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, and they had to return to class. When she got home after school, Peanut had an email waiting for her.
Hi, Peanut. Just a short note. I'm having some tests done today. And wow, your allergy must have been bad for you to have to go to the hospital. Later, Peanut had an idea. She typed, Hey, do you want to play chess? Maybe we could play a game. I read about sickle cell anemia. Are you very, very sick? You are having a lot of tests. Talk soon. Saturday came along. All the plans of the Lucian Six were in vain because it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and rained. Peanut wanted something to do, so she got some paper and crayons and she made a Happy Day card. She would scan that card and email it to Hannah to help her feel better.
Hannah wrote back, Yes, let's play. I'm going first. Peanut read the chess move and grinned. Hannah had started with the Sicilian defense. The game was on. Over the next few days and weeks, Peanut and Hannah played chess and chatted.
In one email, Hannah explained, I'm going to have a bone marrow operation. My 10-year-old brother, Noel, is going to donate some of his. My mom and dad hope it will be a cure, and I hope so too. It can really hurt sometimes, and I can't handle cold things like showers. But if this works, I will be the first person to be cured of sickle cell anemia. Peanut knew that her brothers loved her and would do the same if they had to. She asked, "When you are cured, what will you do?" Hannah had lots of plans. "Well, I miss my pets. I really couldn't see them. I want to see my doves, my gecko, my cat. And then I'd really like to go back to school. I kind of miss my friends."
The day came when Hannah sent the mail. "Hi, Peanut. I'm going to have my operation tomorrow. If everything goes well, I will be in the hospital for the next 5 months. I don't know when I'll be able to write to you, but as soon as the doctors say that I can, I will write. I promise. Thanks for being my friend." The operation would take place on the 16th of June, which is World Sickle Cell Anemia Day. Peanut hoped that it would be a lucky day for Hannah.
Peanut didn't want to play on the day Hannah had her operation. She just wasn't feeling up to it. She didn't want to go to the park either. Instead, she went down to the river with Dax, and she just sat and thought about the friend that she'd never met. They had exchanged pictures and videos and played chess constantly. It was a nice sunny day. Dax lay under the tree and went to sleep. Birds and bugs flew around, and crayfish jumped in and out of the river. But Peanut didn't notice any of it. She could only think about Hannah and the big operation.
Every day, Peanut would look for an email from Hannah, and every day there was no email. Then, one day, there it was. Peanut clicked it open. "On the day God made me," he said. Ta-da! "Hi, Peanut. It's me, Hannah. Want to play a game of chess?"
Peanut danced all around the house. Her friend was going to be fine. Her friend was going to be fine. Her friend was going to be fine. Hannah would grow up to do all the things on her long, long list. She'd grow up to be a singer. She'd grow up to be a dancer, a model, an astronaut, even president, a baby doctor like Aunt Gabby and me, and maybe even a makeup artist for the people in the movies. Her friend was going to be fine. The end. Until the next adventure.
Okay. Thanks again for joining us for the Read2Me's nightly bedtime series. Hope you had fun reading with us.
But before we go, it's really very important that you listen to us. Are you listening? Do you want to be little superheroes too? Well, here's what you can do to help. Wash your hands with soap and sing happy birthday twice while you're doing it. 2 whole times through, and then you'll know you've washed for long enough. Keep your hands out of your mouths and remind Mommy, Daddy, Granny, everybody in the whole family to wear their masks if they're going out.
We can do this. Why? Because we are in this together. See you tomorrow, kiddies, for a brand new story with 2 new readers.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night. Sleep well.
Sleep well.
And have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.